What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to Omar BYT, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, guys, to the UCL semi-final prediction, guys. It's finally here, guys. Semi-finals is here, guys. 4 teams left. Only 2 teams can make it to the final, guys. And look, guys, we got some cracking games. I'm not gonna lie. If you told me that this was going to be the semi-final tie, some of them were predictable, some of them were definitely we didn't predict at the start of this knockout round. But we are officially here, and the great news is, as a Barca fan, guys, my club is in the semi-finals, which is something we haven't been in this stage since 2019, guys. But before we get started, make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and obviously, guys, we got 2 games. We have on Tuesday Arsenal versus PSG, and on Wednesday, obviously, it is Barcelona versus Inter Milan. I'm gonna go through both games. I'm not gonna go too much detail on the Barca game. However, I will go short. However, in the PSG versus Arsenal game, that's the one I'm gonna focus on the most. So if you guys like that, you guys know what to do, and let's go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first tie, guys. This is the first tie. It is Arsenal. It is Paris Saint-Germain, guys. Now, let's be clear. Before a ball was even kicked during the round of 16, I don't think a lot of people would have predicted that we would be seeing this tie in the semi-finals. But fair play to both of these teams, guys. Both of these teams worked hard. It's not like they didn't get tested. They got serious tests throughout this Champions League, and they are rightfully where they belong. They are in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Obviously, both of these teams in Europe, they've actually been good. In the league, Arsenal, different story. PSG, definitely, they've already secured their league title. But in Europe, however, both of these teams have been great. PSG had a slow start. They recovered well. Arsenal, however, I feel like their Champions League run has kind of gone under the radar until, obviously, the semi-final. But this is going to be very interesting because really, it could go either way. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Arsenal, this is the only trophy they've got left. Liverpool have just secured the Premier League. They are not in the FA Cup, and they are not in the Carabao Cup. This is the only trophy that can save their season. And first of all, congratulations to them. Fair play to Arsenal. I'll be the first to admit, I did not expect them to be where they are now. But they worked hard to be where they are right now. They went on and they were dominant. They've been performing amazing. And they have been on a riot in some of these games. I think they've only lost 1 game in the whole Champions League, and that was against Inter. And truth be told, their win against Real Madrid, that has really made me not underestimate them in this tie. Because, look, say whatever you want about Madrid. They beat Madrid 5-1 on aggregate. Nobody, not the most diehard Arsenal fan, was going into this tie thinking they were going to win 5-1. But they did, and it's nothing less than they deserve. They were world-class, incredible in that first game. They dominated, got an amazing 3-goal lead. They went to the Bernabeu, and with all the talk of remontada and all of that talk, guess what? They went to that stadium, and not only did they prevent a remontada, they did worse. They went to that stadium and they pulled their pants down. They pulled Madrid's pants down in their own stadium, beating them both home and away. And not to mention, we saw them in the round of 16 against PSV. Absolutely destroyed them in that first leg at Eindhoven. Obviously rested the second leg. But if anything, guys, Arsenal have shown that in Europe this year, they are not to be played with. They are a team that should be taken seriously, and they've gotten what they deserve in the Champions League. And truth be told, guys, the same thing applies with PSG, but I think Arsenal definitely have a very good chance of reaching the final, guys. They have the same amount of chance for me as PSG do, right? Because I'll go into PSG next, but I think when you look at their team right now, they gave up in the league a long time ago because they knew they were not going to win it. But I think in the Champions League, they've been a different proposition. Obviously, I think some news coming out of the club is that the good news is that obviously guys like Saka, we saw them in the quarterfinals, played well, right? He is back. There's been a lot of talk of potentially Moreno missing because Moreno has been their makeshift striker. And to be fair, in the game against Real Madrid, he cooked. He absolutely cooked in that striking area. So if they lose him, that's going to be a huge, huge loss. But I'm sure they will probably, maybe make some changes. Probably bring Trossard to play in the striker role or play with Martinelli over there. We will see. They will definitely play something. But I think that they definitely have a great shot of winning this. And obviously they are the home team, so they have to win the first leg and get an advantage against PSG. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to PSG, 2025 has been amazing. It has been nothing short but amazing. They had a very slow start, obviously trying to adapt to life without Kylian Mbappe, and it was a slow start at the start of the season. But Enrique, fair play to him, because he found the recipe, he found the formula, and truth be told, they have been cooking. They've been cooking. Listen, they have been amazing, right? If you look at their run in the Champions League, right, they absolutely destroyed Stade Brestois in the round of 32. Not to mention before that, they beat Manchester City. But then the game against Liverpool, remember, Liverpool who were top of the Champions League table, right? And they went, not only did they win the tie, but it's the way they won it. They went to Anfield after a first leg defeat at home, went to the second leg at Anfield, got the goal, defended well, and had a great game. And then they went on to beat them on penalties. And they went against Villa, who have been a very good team in Europe this season. Very good team. Got a great win in that first leg, 3-1. And obviously they lost the second leg. But they held on and they're here. And they've been amazing. However, the bad news for PSG is their hopes of going unbeaten in Ligue 1 just ended. They lost at home to Nice, which was very shocking. I did not expect them to lose, but they did lose, unfortunately, for them. And I'll say this about PSG. Going forward, guys like Desiree Doué, guys like Ousmane Dembele, guys like Bakola and Kvaratskhelia, they have been cooking. Their attack, and not to mention their midfield with guys like Vitinha, how they've been playing this season, they've been absolutely cooking throughout the Champions League going forward. This is the part that I feel like a lot of people don't notice. And I think maybe some people might have seen it watching the Villa game. They are very, very bad defensively. Guys like Marquinhos are very defensively suspect. Even though I rate Pacho very highly, I do rate Beraldo. Marquinhos is a liability. He is a liability. He was definitely a liability in that game against Aston Villa, right? When they get attacked, they usually buckle. And I think that obviously going to this first leg at the Emirates, they need to make sure that when they go forward, they need to be careful defensively, because that's what Nice did. Nice had a great plan. They were very defensively structured, and guess what? Hit them on the corner and scored 3 goals. And they got the deserved win. They got a deserved win in that game. And when it comes to PSG, because of that loss, what will they will need a response. However, Arsenal might have watched that game, and I'm sure that Arteta would have probably did his studying in that game against Nice, and we'll see what happens in this game. But it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. Can PSG go to the Emirates and actually get the win? That is the $1 million question. But we'll definitely see. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I'm going to be very, very honest, my prediction for this tie, I'm going to go for an Arsenal win. However, I'm going to go for a close win. I'm going to go Arsenal 2, PSG 1. And also, before I do move on, these two teams have actually already played each other in the Champions League. However, the reason I didn't go into detail about that is because I truly do believe, despite the fact that Arsenal did win that first tie 2-0, I feel like the PSG team that they were playing was a PSG team in transition, and I think that the team they're playing now is definitely gonna be much, much tougher. So I'm going Arsenal 2, PSG 1. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure a lot of you guys have been waiting on this one. Now, guys, first of all, before I start this semifinals, I'm gonna just say, guys, I'm not gonna go into too much detail as far as the squads, the teams, and all of that because I do have a match preview cooking for this one. So if you guys want the much longer version of this game, guys, preview wise, make sure you guys keep it locked in on the channel on Omar BYT because I will be uploading this preview of this game later on during this day, guys, so that I can go into detail about the lineups, the squads, the results, and everything. But I will keep it short in this tie and tell you, just summarize basically both of these teams and how they're coming into this game. Now, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about my club. Obviously, as you all know, Barcelona are coming into this game against Inter Milan on a high. We've just won our second trophy and we've just beaten our biggest rivals. The buzz in the club right now is extremely high. The players are on a high right now, but now it is down to business. I will say this now. When we won the Super Cup earlier this year against Madrid, the players definitely, they got a great boost out of that win. And I'm hoping that this game against Inter, these players can take the same boost from that previous win in this Copa del Rey trophy win to use that motivation and try to finish the job because we've won 2 trophies. We are so close to a Champions League final and it is reachable, especially if you look at Inter's form. But as far as we're concerned, I think I was very impressed with the performance against Real Madrid. We were very, very good. We started well. We got, petered out in the second half. We were 2-1 down, but mentally, these guys didn't break. We got the equalizer, and we went to extra time and got the winner. And obviously in the league, we're still doing well. We were defensively shaky in the game against Vigo, but I was very impressed with how we played against Mallorca, and I was very impressed on how we played against Real Madrid. But now, this is where it matters. Obviously, in this game, very shortly, we do have some players missing. Lewandowski and Balde are the notable ones. But truth be told, I'm going into this game very confident, and I do believe that we can get the win. Now, as far as Inter is concerned, the positivity I've used on Barca, unfortunately, I can't use for Inter because they were a team that worried me, and they still worry me. However, I will say this right now, guys. These guys are not coming into this Barca game in the best of form. In fact, they are coming in probably their worst form of the season. They've just lost 3 games in a row, one of them being a semi-final game against their biggest rivals, AC Milan. They got absolutely battered in the Coppa Italia 3-0, and then they just lost at home to Roma, and they not combinating before that and a loss against Bologna. So it's safe to say that Inter Milan are coming into this game in the worst form of their life. And as a Barca fan, this is giving me a little bit of confidence, and I'm praying to God that we definitely did our studying in the past 3 defeats. Like I mentioned, they have a lot of problems. They definitely have problems. They're not going to be with Thuram. He's out injured. And just to pile up their misery, Benjamin Pavard, who was actually integral in their last win against Bayern Munich, is out for this tie. He's just suffered an injury, so he's definitely going to be out. So they definitely have a lot of problems, and they are not coming into this game in good form. Now, even though I'm saying that, I am not underestimating them because they can easily turn up. We need to make sure that when we go into this tie, because we know what Inzaghi is going to do. Inzaghi is not coming to the Barca game to attack. Absolutely not. He's coming into that game defensively compact, completely compact from the midfield to the defense. Everything is going to be coordinated perfectly. And honestly, that is our kryptonite. We have been struggling against teams that are very compact this season. So we need to make sure that we try and get the win. I know what they're going to plan, and obviously in the second leg, they're going to try to get the win. But I think they're coming into this game against us, not really with the idea of trying to win. I think they're going to come into this game hoping to get a draw or potentially lose by maybe like a goal. That way they can give themselves a fighting chance. But yeah, it's gonna be very, very interesting because they're not in good form, and we are the favorites going into this game. But we should not underestimate them. That's for sure. As far as my prediction about this game is concerned, my heart, I want a 3-0 win. But tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Tell me what you guys are saying about the Arsenal game. Tell me what you guys are saying about the Arsenal PSG game. And tell me what you guys are saying about this Barca Inter Milan game. Like I mentioned, guys, this is a short preview for the Barcelona Inter one. I will go into detail on my match preview, guys. Make sure you guys keep it locked in here. Tell me what your predictions are in the comment section below. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and peace, you guys. Take care.